In the Chronology of Water, a young woman, Lidia, played by Imogen Poots, grows up in an environment torn apart by violence and alcohol and struggles to find her path in life. She manages to escape her family and enters university, where she finds refuge in literature. Gradually, words offer her an unexpected freedom. The Chronology of Water is directed by actress Kristen Stewart, and this film is her directorial debut, and the Chronology of Water just debuted at the Cannes Film Festival in the Uncertain Regard section. The Chronology of Water is an interesting, quite ambitious film in a lot of ways. It tries to use literature and like diary entries to try and correlate like personal experiences, try to heal your past and personal experiences through literature. The first 15 minutes of the film is just a series of images of like water going down in drains and blood and a father screaming at his children, and it's just a series of images. And I was a little bit worried at the beginning of the film that this was the style of the film that I was going to be watching for 2 hours, but thankfully after 15-20 minutes of the film, the style of the film settles down and we finally enter some kind of narrative structure. And after about 15 minutes, we're sitting at a table with Lidia and her father and her mother, and her father is opening acceptance letters from colleges, and this scene really shows us the dynamic of the family relationships. Her father is very dominating and very controlling, and her mother just is kind of sitting to the side and very doesn't really do any, that isn't really has any power to the relationship. Lydia's father, played by Michael Epp, it's heavily suggested in the film that he abused his two daughters pretty much the whole time when they were growing up. And once Lidia is able to escape this family environment, the film really finds its footing. Because of Lydia's upbringing, very turbulent upbringing, when she goes to college, she is accepted on a swimming scholarship, and so she's able to escape her family environment, and she is very promiscuous. She dates a lot of guys, she has a lot of sex, she tries drugs, she gets drinking, all of the typical things that happen when you are subjected to a lot of abuse in your childhood. But it's when, about halfway through the film, when a college friend finds some of Lydia's diary entries and her writing style, and she suggests that she should try out for a writing class, and Lidia is accepted to this class, and she meets a very influential teacher played by Jim Belushi. And it's in this part of the film where Lidia, she gets to show through her writing and literature, she gains confidence, she gains some kind of purpose to life. Now, this film, The Chronology of Water, you had to be a little bit patient. It is quite inspiring to see Lydia's journey, especially in the second half of the film, where she's able to come into her own. She's able to use literature to express her feelings and come into her own. She's eventually accepted to have an English teaching job, and she goes through a lot of different bad type of guys, and she eventually meets a nice man towards the end of the film and has a child, and she has a job, and that is quite inspiring to see at the end of the film. But for me, this film is maybe at least 20 minutes too long. It does get quite meandering at times, and the decision to cast Imogen Poots throughout the whole film, it was a little bit off-putting for me at the beginning of the film, where Imogen was playing the 17/18-year-old Lidia. For me, it maybe would have been a bit better to find a little bit of a younger actress, and then maybe once Imogen Poots is in her maybe halfway through the film when she's in university. That would have been a bit more realistic, but yeah, for me, a 35-year-old Imogen playing a 17, 18-year-old was a little bit off-putting for me, but she does give a very raw, visceral performance. She's pretty much in the whole film, except for like the flashback scenes, so she's pretty much in the whole film, and she's quite raw in the film. I give the Chronology of Water 3 stars out of 5. It's quite ambitious, a film that tries to use literature to the central character to express her feelings. It doesn't always work. It's quite mindering at times, and it's at least 30 minutes too long, but I definitely recommend checking this film. The raw central performance by Imogen Poots is fantastic, and it does tackle a lot of themes about past trauma, and in the end the film does end up being quite inspiring. What did you think of the Chronology of Water? Please comment below what you thought of the film. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.